word around and try to become involved. Thank you very much.
2013 was a very important year for us. We completed practically all of the superstructure, and now we're just on the verge of almost completing the domes as well. This will take roughly another 9 months. Also, we've just started to commence the construction of the different areas where we seal the building from walls, from ground going upwards, and also we're starting to do the deity rooms as well. So this year is going to be the completion of the full superstructure. We also want to commence the finishing work as well, the interiors and exteriors, where we're starting from the dome coming down to the ground, and we're hoping that we can also commence the finishing of the superstructure of the altars for the deities, and then proceed by cladding the whole inside and the outside. This will also commence near the end of the year. So we're hoping that 2014 will be a successful year to finish all of the detail work, ready to commence the finishing work.
For the central dome, the first ring is already completed. Second ring work is in progress. We are going to increase the workforce, and we are running the site for 24 hours. Gammon hired a specialist safety dome inspection team, which they help them in safety measures of dome construction.
Srila Prabhupada expressed his preference for the outer design of the temple. While visiting Washington, he instructed Yadubar and Vishaka to take photos of the Capitol building. When they inquired why, he replied, "We shall have a planetarium in Mayapur to show spiritual world, material world, and so on. Succession of the planetary systems, everything. A building like that."
The model is built as the dome will be built. So as we come up, each ring is bolted onto the one below. Okay. And it's been engineered in such a way that it's safe. There is no question of it not being safe. The only concern is the construction methodology, how we're going to build it. It has 200 millimeters of concrete on the outside. It's not only stainless steel. Once the concrete is there, we can take the stainless steel structure out, and the dome will still be just as strong. We need something to hang the ceiling off, so the stainless steel will stay there. Mr. Chowdhury out of Delhi has done the engineering, and we've seen, he made one video. He put all his calculations into one program, which is a very expensive program, and more or less destroyed the temple and collected that information on the forces that were necessary for the dome to collapse. And it's just, yeah, incredible forces that would be necessary.
The centerpiece of the complex is the chandelier, which provides visitors with an enlivening tour of the various regions of the cosmic creation. This features a giant model that demonstrates the movements of the planetary systems as described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Explanations and displays are also presented that describe how these movements correspond to the visible universe of our experience.
We've been concentrating a great deal on the actual size of the chandelier of recent times. We realised that if it's made to the maximum size allowable, it'll be literally impossible to see the upper planetary systems. Of course, I refer to Golompa Vrindavan, which is so far away. So we've adjusted the height of the chandelier to some small degree, and of course, because the chandelier its height and its width are interrelated subjects, and the width has to get altered somewhat. But it's still going to be the largest chandelier in the world, from what I can see, and it's certainly going to be the most interesting chandelier.
For the planetary display in the main dome of the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium, we've based the layout of the model on a letter that Srila Prabhupada wrote in 1976 to Mr. Dhani. Therein, Srila Prabhupada explained 15 different elements that he wanted contained within the model, beginning from Patala Loka and culminating in Goloka Vrindavan. So at the bottom of the planetary display, we have Shesha holding up the earth. This is Shesh, the empowered incarnation. There we have Ananta speaking Bhagavatam to the four Kumaras, and above, the 7 subterranean planets. Here we can see Jambudvip, the central island of Bhumandala, and Bharatvarsha is situated on the southern side of that. It's 8 other Varshas with Ilavrita Varsha in the center, various supporting mountains with large trees upon them, described in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the very center of Ilavrita Varsha is Mount Meru, Golden Mountain. Atop Mount Meru are the cities of important demigods, Lord Brahma in the center, the 8 Dikpalas in the cardinal directions and sub-directions. Moving out, we can see the broader Bhumandala, 7 concentric islands and oceans surrounding them. The 7th of these islands is Pushkaradweep. On that island is Manasotra mountain, and on the mountain there's various cities of demigods such as Indra. Out further is Loka Loka mountain. These large elephants stand atop Loka Loka mountain to balance Bhumandala. Outside of Loka Loka mountain is Aloka Varsha, which is dark. The rays of the sun and the other luminaries extend up to Loka Loka mountain. On Manasotra mountain here on Pushkaradweep, the sun travels above this mountain at the southernmost point of its annual orbit. Above Bhumandala is Bhuvarloka, which is the residence of the Charanas, Siddhas, Yakshas, Gandharvas. And above there is Swargaloka, beginning from the sun and extending up to the pole star Dhruvaloka. This is the moving part of the planetary display. Here we can see the sun and the moon moving in their chariots. The chariots are being drawn by horses moving in the anti-clockwise direction, but they're traveling with the wheel of time moving in the clockwise direction faster, so it looks as if they're moving backwards. Above them, the zodiac of stars, more planets, and another realm of stars. So here we can see everything moving with the Kala Chakra, circumambulating the axis that connects Mount Meru with Dhruvaloka. Above these planets, we come to the planet of the 7 sages, the Saptarshi. You can see them here. They're commonly known as the Big Dipper, and then Dhruvaloka, the pole star. On the ocean of milk situated there, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, who is the Paramatma within everyone's heart, he resides on Anantashesh. Moving up beyond there, we have Mahaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka. In this video, we haven't included many of the details for there, but on Mahaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, we have residences of the Lord, such as Lord Varaha, Lord Vamana, and so on. Here's Brahmaloka, and on Brahmaloka, we also have a form of the Lord Garbhodakshaya Vishnu as the Sahasrashesha Purush. Beyond there is the 7 coverings of the universe, earth, water, fire, etc. And outside of the universes is the abode of Lord Shiva, Shiva Loka. There he resides eternally. Beyond Shiva Loka, we come to Mahavishnu, Karanodakashaya Vishnu, with innumerable universes that are emanating from the pores of his transcendental body. Here you can see him being served by Rama Devi. Then we come to the Brahmajyoti, the effulgence of the Lord's transcendental body. Penetrating through the Brahmajyoti, we come to the Vaikuntha planets. We're showing 24 planets of the Vaikuntha realm in this model. The Lord, with 4 arms, is holding the conch, disc, club, and lotus, and the various combinations of those 4 make 24. Then we come to Goloka Vrindavan. Here we can see Radha Madhava, but we'll also be showing the other primary rasas, Krishna with the cowherd boys, Krishna being served, Krishna with Mother Yashoda. So this is an overview of the planetary display to be shown in the main dome of the temple.
Welcome to the design department for the year 2014. Of course, we have a lot of very detailed work on ceiling, plaster work, exterior, parikrama floor, interior, big temple, interior and exterior of the Nrsingadev temple. But I'll just give you one example of the interior column for the Kirtan Hall, main temple hall. This is a concept that we have for the main pillars that go around that hold up the dome, the very strong dome. The columns will be clad in onyx and white marble bases, onyx, and then white marble capitals with gold leaf. And on this, where you see this orangey color, will actually be a very beautiful honey-colored, intricately carved teak wood, which will act as acoustic panels so that we can help to bring up the acoustics of the main hall to the standard that it has to be for huge kirtans. Here on the column, we've designed special order crystal wall light brackets. They're 10 foot long, and there'll be one on each column going up all around. Now this will go to our architects, Vilasini, and they will do the actual architectural drawings. So it's a very long, complicated process, but we all here on the design team are having great fun. It's not that this was arrived at just by my decision, but before I okay anything, I have to get the approval of all of our team, Tulsi, Elena, Manjulali, Bhaskar, the whole group. And when we're all agreed, then we okay it and send it on for further drawings. I hope to be alive next year to see you again. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
We are almost completed the superstructure for the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium. The first design mandate that was given to us before we started the whole design process in 2007 was the longevity of the building, that it should last for minimum 1,000 years. So considering that aspect, the whole design, right from the foundation, the columns, the domes, and the architectural materials have been selected and designed accordingly. So we have a team of architects based in Pune. All of them have received their Bachelor's of Architecture degree and are working at tandem with the artists in Mayapur. So pretty much for every feature of the temple, we have the artists reinvent the wheel for every capital, every shaft design, every flute or jali work, which any normal building would be just a standard design that would be used. But since we want to make this a unique design as a dream project of Srila Prabhupada, we want to ensure that all the designs and materials used are state-of-the-art.
The art department is mainly, at least up till now, been involved with designing and creating the Guru Parampara, which will be used on the altar upstairs. With each of the Guru Parampara deities, we're trying as much as possible to show each of their moods, their individual moods, rather than a more generic figure of each. So rather than them just being sculptures, we're actually creating a unique murti of individual deities. So up till now, we've completed from Srila Prabhupada up to Krishnadas Kaviraj. So that's about 8 or 9 figures. And how we generally work is we start with the design or a photograph if the Acharya has some photographs of them. And then we start working on the clay figures, get as much detail as possible in the clay. And then we make fiberglass prototypes. And those fiberglass prototypes we can use to bring to foundries where we'll cast them in bronze. One unique thing about these deities is we won't be making the deities in, the general brass look, the shiny brass. We'll actually be putting a patina on them. Patina is a kind of chemical process through bronze where you can get different colors through the metal itself. It's a chemical process. So by doing that, we can actually get skin tones. We can make it look more real life, I'm kind of going in that kind of direction, where instead of just drawing any generic figure or copying some real person, I actually look a little bit more into the history and who they were and things like this. And also in each of their hands, they'll have different objects which will relate to their either their teachings or who they were. So with Gopal Bhatta, he'll have some scripture in his hand, and he'll have a mudra which shows that he's a teacher or he's giving us knowledge. So all these things just kind of enhance the overall mood of the deities.
The Temple of the Vedic Planetarium is meant to educate people about the cosmology according to the Vedic literature. To that end, 1/3 of the building has been dedicated to presenting through multimedia experiences the basic theme that we find in the Veda of a living universe. The idea of life coming from life, of course, is the main undercurrent that Srila Prabhupada wanted to present to people in general, but also in particular to scholars and scientists and the educated public. In the west wing of the building, where we have the exhibits, that will be aimed at a particular audience of high school and above educated persons. There'll be an entry fee, there'll be 3 levels of exhibits, and then on the top floor there'll be a 23-meter tilted dome. In the dome we'll present digital films showing the basic idea of the Vedic universe as being populated by superior living beings. And then we'll also have on the lower floors different kinds of multimedia experiences along that theme of life comes from life. As far as content goes, we have no shortage. His Grace Sadhaputta Prabhu, when he was working on the project in the 1990s and early 2000s, sketched out at least 55 different exhibits that could be shown. We have many more different ideas from the works of ISKCON devotees like Dhrutakama Prabhu with his forbidden archaeology and human devolution. And Srila Prabhupada also told us that we could take any story or thing from the Bhagavatam and present that visually. For instance, we could make a presentation on human social systems and organization, such as Varnashram. So in this way we have no shortage of content, and the plan will be to have some permanent exhibits and also some temporary exhibits, so that we can show things based on the latest thinking in scientific fields. They're always changing, and we need to adapt and show the Vedic vision of those different so-called scientific concepts. So this year in 2014, we will begin in earnest with the development of various multimedia presentations and filmmaking. We have 6 months ago accepted the services of Sriman Sridham Prabhu, He worked for the last 7 years as a production manager for Sky TV in New Zealand. He's very competent, intelligent young man, and he will be coordinating the efforts to develop a team for script writing and then production. So during this year we hope to finalize exactly which exhibits we'll be building first, what shows we want to present in the domed theatre, and then we'll construct, or rather gather together a production team so that we can actually start to realize these goals.
From this temple, service to Lord Gauranga was spread all over the world. The prediction is from this temple, from the TOVP temple, then it will go from here. So this is how important it is to establish this temple as quickly as possible, because the prediction is not going to come true until the temple is ready, because the prediction is from this temple. So as soon as we get the temple finished, then at any time we can expect that the holy name will spread in every town and the village of the world.
Looking at the building at this particular point, you can see how big it is, how much area that this building covers. The whole building has an area of 55,000 square meters, or 605,000 square feet. So this is a massive actual structure. This area that we're showing you is so big on a world standard. It's the biggest dome of this size in the world practically. So you can see by the images of other buildings how grand this building will be.
It appears that anybody who observes the temple of the Vedic planetarium in a serious sense is forming an act of devotion. This is Srila Prabhupada's legacy to the world.
Govinda Gopala, Devaki Nandana, 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 Govinda Gopala.
Я здесь тоже поставим поем.